So definitely one of the coolest presentations in terms of bottles has to go to John Varvatos. Here we have a new release, 2022. This one is called XX Artisan Teal, or Roman numeral 20. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of John Varvatos Artisan Teal, and that's XX or Roman numeral 20, I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon, and give this video a thumbs up if you take something of value from today's episode. Now, of course, I own every single John Varvatos fragrance that was ever released, ranging from the 10th anniversary edition, the Platinum edition, Dark Rebel Rider, the original Artisan, Artisan Pure, so on and so forth. Now here we have XX Artisan Teal, and this one has a bit more of a coastal feel about it. So it has vacation vibes to it. It has water lily, it has lemon, rosemary, pink pepper, musk, driftwood. And as I was smelling it initially, I thought there was something kind of oceanic about it. So of course there's that sea salt accord, but I thought there might have also been a little bit of ambroxan or ambergris, or just something giving off this marine quality to it. In any case, initially it reminded me of a very expensive niche fragrance, and then it dried down into its own thing. And I think this is one that's going to be received very well, just because it possesses a DNA that's very easy to get along with, very simple, although not being overly linear or simple. It has a nice bit of complexity to it, and it has a really nice contemporary aromatic smell to it. So I'm excited to give you my lowdown of the smell. Let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So the opening of this fragrance is appropriately bright and citrusy, and it's kind of what you would expect from a fragrance called Artisan Teal, right? So there are definitely these marine vibes about it, and you do get that, but you might have to wait like half an hour, 45 minutes, until they really start to settle in and become more apparent. So I know in terms of citrus ingredients, or what you're going to find in the top of the note pyramid, there's lemon. And it does open up with this bright citrusy vibe. I don't get an overly strong lemon note, which is probably good, right? And it gives the other ingredients in the DNA a chance to shine. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I thought that initially I was getting kind of like a niche aroma of a familiar fragrance, one that I personally own. And going back to it, I was kind of reminded of like a blend of Creed's Arofa with Creed's Silver Mountain Water. Now, it's not overly strong, but it kind of has like that Creed ambergris slash ambroxan DNA, and I thought I was getting it in the opening, which surely I was. And then as it starts to dry down, it becomes a bit more designer-ish, if you will. But that's not saying anything bad. That's not a critique on the fragrance in any way. It just smells like something that you would expect from a very mass-marketed and mass-appealing designer fragrance. And I think that mass appeal will translate to people really enjoying this fragrance, as I happen to enjoy it. So it does open up with this very bright, fresh, oceanic quality. I know there's a sea salt accord. It doesn't smell overly salty, but I did get that sort of ambroxan ambergris quality that reminded me of a very expensive fragrance, that being either Arofa or Silver Mountain Water, or kind of like a hybrid of the two. And then as it starts to dry down, I suppose the rosemary is brought to the fore, because there is this aromatic heart to it. Now, I don't know if it's entirely rosemary. I'm sure there's a little bit of clary sage or a molecule by the name of sclarine. So it gives it this very youthful yet professional and very easy to get along with quality. And then in the base, it's musky, but in a clean, musky way. I think people will smell this one and they will really end up enjoying it. I know a lot of John Varvatos fragrances can be on the daring side of things, especially when you look at Dark Rebel Rebel or Dark Rebel writer. And I know a leather accord is something that the brand has played around with in the past. Now this fragrance is just very fresh, very easy to get along with, and it's the type of DNA that my wife loves. I think it's the type of fragrance that I can see people getting complimented on quite heavily, just because it's very accessible, very friendly, and it has a lot of ingredients in here that would warrant compliments, right? Or that would provoke, if you will, people around you to smell it on you and compliment you, because it's a very safe, very mass appealing scent. Now this is one that I can definitely see myself wearing in an office setting. I'm currently on spring break, and so I haven't had the opportunity to wear this one to work, but I love the fact that they released a fragrance in the season in which its use is appropriate, right? So a lot of times fragrances are released out of season, and so you might get something like the Givenchy Reserve Gentleman Reserve Privé, for example. I think that's great for the winter, right? Or the fall. And it was kind of released a month ago or something like that. So now as we're in the spring and it's like 80 degrees outside today, I wouldn't wear that fragrance today. So I love the fact that it's season appropriate and they thought about it. The execution is great. The color is great. The name is cool, and I love the aesthetic of the bottle. So this is definitely a vacation kind of a scent for me. And I did a video where I kind of tried to rank all of my recent designer acquisitions from least favorite to favorite. And one thing that you'll notice is that this one was a bit higher up on the list because I do genuinely enjoy this fragrance. Very easy to wear, very easy to pull off. I don't think it's the most groundbreaking release in terms of doing something very differently quirky and super innovative or anything like that, but a lot of times that doesn't sell, right? You'll get a fragrance that is really weird and strange and it pushes envelopes, and then, you know, it appeals to only a niche crowd. And so I think the brand did something really interesting with this fragrance. Very easy to wear, and I hope you have the opportunity to sample it soon. I personally purchased my bottle at Macy's. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it's not the most unique fragrance, but it's a very easy to love scent. The citrus, the aromatic appeal, that sort of oceanic, Creed, Rolfa, Silver Mountain Water vibe in the opening, and then it dries down to something that smells like a YSL Eau de Parfum, right? So it has some elements in here that you've smelled in other fragrances, but the overall smell is very appealing. Definitely one that I look forward to wearing in the weeks/months to come. Longevity was about 7 hours on my skin. The projection was great for the first hour and a half of application. It did start to sit quite close to the skin, right around that 4.5 to 5 hour mark. Versatility is great. I think it's great for the hotter weather. It's great for casual scenarios. You can wear this in an office setting. I personally think it's unisex, and I think this will appeal to somebody who's a little bit younger. I just personally wouldn't wear it in the winter time, and I don't think it's overly formal. If you're looking for a formal fragrance from the brand, I think the original Artisan is great. I think Dark Rebel is great for like a formal occasion. Not one of my favorites from the brand, but there are certainly other offerings that I would select for a formal occasion over this one. And the presentation, I think, is beautiful. My final verdict is, if you're a fan of the brand John Varvatos and you want a brand new release, something that's going to slightly set you apart from everyone else, you want something that gives off these summertime, fun, casual beach vibes, and if you're a fan of aromatic fragrances that have that bright citrus appeal, I think you're really going to enjoy XX Artisan Teal by John Varvatos. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload future videos. Give this video a thumbs up. It would greatly assist with the YouTube algorithm, and I would love it. So thank you for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.